Oh, mate, I can't even go live. It's not working.
So, wait, saying live now.
Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for the match reaction to the Chelsea versus Man United game, 1-1 on the night. You see the title in the name right now. I'm calling it 2 points lost, 2 points dropped. Lots to get into, lots to discuss in regards to this team, the setup, how we played. I want everything. Everyone in the chat right now, there's nearly 100 people here. Smash the like buttons. Share it out, guys. Let's build up the room as much as we possibly can. My voice is going. Unfortunately, I lost my voice a little bit yesterday. So, yeah, just bear with me on that one. We obviously got ads with us as well, but we're going to get him in a second. But make sure you smash the like buttons, guys. And let's cue the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you guys are all well wherever it is you are across the world. We are here to highlight the match reaction, the second match reaction, as we promised you guys, of the game between Man United and Chelsea, 1-1 on the night as well. I'm very, very, very disappointed. I'm actually quite annoyed, to be quite honest with you, because it's just, I don't know. Joe, before we even do that, let's bring in ads. Ads, how are you, bro? Before we start rambling on what you're saying, how is everything?
You didn't say much, but honestly, I feel the same as you, brother. I feel exactly the same. It's hard to get the words out because that was a very, very emotionally triggering game that we just witnessed. So, yeah, we'll get into it.
And yeah, why don't we just get straight into it? What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to obviously go through the players in a bit. But what we're going to do is just go through the game currently, how we felt about it. And to be quite honest with you, I looked at the lineup today, and the only thing that I had in my back of my head was a straight W. We owed these guys a W. Yeah, we were owed a W against Man United. The amount of draws that we've built up against them, you know, something has to give eventually. And when I thought it could potentially give, well, it didn't. And we now have another draw, along with all these other draws with them. And what was it? Because you look at this Man United team, 14th, 13th, wherever they are in the Premier League, and you look at where we are as well on the trajectory. We're playing well, attacking very well, scored. I think we're either first or second in terms of goals scored in the Premier League this season. You look at this Man United team and you think to yourself, Chelsea, hunting game, A game. Get it done. Palmer, Jackson have been on fire. Neto's been contributing as well. Madueke's had good moments through the season as well. The midfields look good. You know, everything was pointing to Chelsea going and doing what they needed to do. But why I'm so angry, guys, is because it is 2 points dropped. It's a big 2 points dropped. And it's more down to, again, look, we're going to have games like this when we move forward where we should have won and we haven't and whatever. I don't think we actually played that well today. I don't think, especially from an attacking impotence, I thought we were shocking, especially most of this, I'd say 70 minutes of that game. We weren't good enough on the ball moving forward. Jackson was non-existent. Palmer, who doesn't really get criticised by us as fans, was poor, very poor in my opinion in his decision-making and the amount of touches he was taking. He was kind of cruising through the game. And then there's that old tactical thing that we're going to get into with Malo Gusto playing in the little pockets in the first half and receiving the balls and trying to play, trying to fucking play through balls to people when it's not even part of his game, and he saw a lot of the ball first half, got taken off in the second. But we just wasn't good enough. And we seem to always have this bozo moment when it comes to Manchester United. We always seem to just drop our levels as on the pitch. And we never really turned up. We never really had that killer cut that I've seen from us in recent, in terms of, going at them, scoring as quickly as we can, and then and capitalising on it. Yes, we did score a bit later on when we went behind, by the way, and we're obviously going to talk about that goal a bit later on. But in terms of the overall performance, I was very, very annoyed with it. I thought we were not good enough. I felt we was in second gear. I felt that we. Where was the energy? And with Maresca, I look at him and I'm like, come on, it's not working. They're not pulling their weight. Make some substitutions, because there was a couple of players on the pitch today that were just not, that were just not pulling their weight. in and around the team as well. And it was poor. It was poor. From where we are to where they are, we were made to look like we were in, that Man United were on the same level as us, same playing field as us. And the truth is they're not. But we made it look like that. And they are a bogey team. And they continue to be a bogey team for this football club. And I don't understand it. It irritates me. It annoys me. It frustrates me because now they feel that they're probably on the same boat as us and they're not. It's just that we allow it. We allow it and we allow it and we allow it. And you can ask the guys that, can talk to ads in a second. Like ripping my hair out in the chat today. Everything was winding me up today because it was 2 points dropped. The weekend worked out perfectly for Chelsea. Arsenal losing, Man City losing. All right, Liverpool, they did come back and win. Fine. So we had to try and, in a way, just keep with them. Aston Villa losing to Spurs today as well. Who's all right. Spurs are not a threat as of at the moment, but Aston Villa, who are ahead of us, dropping points. This was a big opportunity for this club to be able to pick up points going into the Arsenal game, coming up and opening up a bit of a gap between us. And we didn't. And that's the biggest problem for me. We just continue to always be given opportunities. And season after season, when we have that moment, we just need to go into this like bozo, I don't know, hidden, just do what you've been doing, guys. You've been smashing it up. Do what you were meant to be doing. And it just wasn't good enough. The energy on the pitch was all wrong for me today. I don't think it was too much system-wise other than with Malagusto, but it was more about the individuals, especially in attacking, because so wasteful and so annoying. And listen, we're going to bring ads in to give his overall thoughts on the games, guys. Keep smashing the likes if you can as well. We've got over 100 people on Chelsea Fan TV, GNA TV as well. Run up the likes, guys, if you can, as well. And the people on Twitter, welcome. I hope you're all well. Ads, welcome in. Obviously, frustrating draw. How are you feeling, bro? Let them know.
I'm feeling like my head's about to come off my shoulders, to be honest. Honestly, it was so infuriating watching that game. Again, like you said, 2 points dropped. Huge opportunity missed today. And more than that, this was an opportunity for these players and for the team to really show that, we're above United. We're above these shitty conversations of these dead teams. We should have really been showing that, cool, we're going to pop United off the park and show that, not even what we've been saying, but what the rivals have been saying, which is, we're the most exciting team to watch this season. We have all these technical players. We're playing great football. This, that, and other. Yes, we're a bit shaky at the back, but we look like we can always score goals in offense. And today we did not look like an offensively threatening team. It was such a shambolic performance at times, especially second half. And then even the lead up to when we considered a penalty was just embarrassing. And again, like you said, it's almost like we have this bozo gene in these players that somehow turns up when we go to OT. And it just doesn't make sense because United were as bad as I thought they were going to be going into the game. And that's what gave me confidence because, yes, we have a bad record at OT, but we looked at United and we said they're dead. We talked about their threats. Garnacho, dead. And what did we saw him do today? We saw him opportunities running in on United team and went bar for bar with him and being dead. It was awful. So good thing that we at least scraped a draw because it would have been beyond embarrassing had we left this game on it with a defeat. But even just getting a draw against these lot, it's so embarrassing. It's so deflating. And then now we're going into Arsenal next week. It's like we should have been looking at this at a very different lens, from a very different lens. But now it's just extremely disappointing, embarrassing. Honestly, some disgraceful performances out there, which we'll get into. But man, oh man. I thought this was going to be a different Chelsea today, but it wasn't.
It irritated me. I wanted us to show that we could, in these moments where it has been a bit hard for us in the past, that we can overcome it as a team. Mentality, guys. Mentality. Yeah, right. I know they're still very young. Yeah, but there's a lot of talent on that pitch today. And like Ad said, they weren't at Man United. This is one of the best times to actually come up against them. All right, we might have wanted Ten Hag to be there a little bit longer, but they had Ruud Van Nistelrooy obviously lining them up. Yeah, there's no Amorim tactics in any of this when they were setting
and no
up.
Bench, bro. Did you see that bench? It had no bench.
And no bench. And on top of all of that, we're making people like Lisandro Martinez, who is a bozo, look fucking really good because how bad our attack was today. Like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing? Like, it really irritates me when we play against Man United because I'm in a group with Man United fans and they go, where's this Chelsea that everyone's been so scared of and like, been putting away and blah, 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 blah. They're not even that much better than us. If anything, we're on the same level with them. And that's the mentality they look at. They actually think we're on the same level because we can't beat them.
Sorry, Jam. Let me just say as well, like things like this is what makes you almost feel gaslit because we feel like we've been watching a different Chelsea to the Chelsea that turns up in these games. And Anfield, I could forgive because Liverpool are top of the league, they're doing great things on the slot. You could forgive us being quite stale in attack because we were pretty decent that game. We were set up quite well. We defended pretty decent for most of the game, right? But we lost a close game against Liverpool. It can happen. But this is unacceptable, completely unacceptable to be going bar for bar with a dead United team that had no bench. And yet, for us, our big players, they didn't turn up. Again, we're going to talk on Palmer. We're going to talk on Jackson. We're going to talk on Madueke. We're going to talk on the midfield. We're going to talk on his backline that was getting stretched by Hojlund and Garnacho. It's embarrassing.
Hojlund. Oh my God. Don't get me started on that, brother. We made Hojlund look like fucking prime, I don't even know, prime, I can't even think, Berbatov or something.
The thing is, I mentioned it before the game that like his physicality is something that, again, I still think he's dead and he had a dead game anyways, but I said like his physicality in terms of running the channels, trying to pin defenders, we need our centre-backs to stand up to that and not get bullied by him. At times, they were getting moved to, and that's not acceptable.
We allowed this deadbeat striker to look better than a striker that's actually in form, who was dead today, Nicholas Jackson. We're going to talk about him later on because even his energy today wasn't good enough for me. Listen, we're going to get Hassan in quickly and then we're going to go straight into these player ratings. And we've got a lot to say. We've got over 220 people in the house right now, guys. Only 10 minutes in. You've got to get these likes up for me, guys. I want over 100 likes. If you want us to continue to do these match reactions right on the back of games, we need you to keep getting these likes up, guys. Keep sharing it out. Help us with the views as well. Come on, work together. Hassan. How do you feel, mate? How do you feel? Another draw. Good to see you as always, but another draw against Man United, mate.
Jem, man, what can I say, Jem? What can I say? It's just, I don't know why, man. It's just that, why do United always suck the manager before us, man? Every time, and it's just annoying. But ignoring the whole manager bounce excuse, we were poor. We should just bopped them off the park. With how good our attack has been and with how lethal we have been on punishing mistakes, today we just wasn't it. And it's just so annoying because we all knew how United was going to set up against us. They're going to sit back and hit us on the counter. They've always done that with us, and it's always been effective. But it's just, I don't know what to say today because everyone played quite poor today. It was just like the passes, even Palmer didn't look as good as he was previous games. I don't know what was up with him today. There was a few times where he could have, played the pass instead of trying to shoot, and he was just trying to do a bit too much today. And same with a lot of other players, but it's just I know I'm going to echo exactly what you guys were saying, but it's just like bozo moments and it's just so many factors. It's just frustrating to me. I just can't put it to words with how bad we actually played today. It's one of the probably worst performances I've seen so far this season, and it just makes me question why we gave up, the Newcastle EFL Cup game for you know what I mean? We gave up the cup run for this, and it's just so many questions today, and so many questions from the players and everyone around them. So it's just frustrating to me, and I just can't put it to words. But yeah, let's just get through the ratings.
Yeah, let's get through the rankings, man. We've got a lot to get into. We've got at least an hour to get through, guys, before we obviously keep smashing the likes as well. As we go along, I will bring up some press conference comments from Maresca, which I'm waiting to see and hear. I want to know what his thoughts and feelings were after watching that. Is he going to come out and say, I thought we played very well for this amount of time and blah, 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 blah. This is what I'm waiting to see. Aussie, welcome, guys. Everyone in the chat, keep smashing the likes. Come on, run it up, run it up, run it up. We're going to go into ratings. I want your ratings in the chat as well, guys. Please let us know. And listen, do you know what? I'll start, and then we're obviously opening up to ads and Hassan as well. But look, I thought Sanchez actually had a good game today, up until he had that bozo moment when it comes to the penalty. Because I'll be quite honest here, Hojlund wasn't going anywhere. To even have to, clever goalies that I can't explain, not even clever, but experienced goalies that haven't really got much of a bozo brain. Yeah, in them moments, what they do is they come out And they kind of do that, if you notice. Yeah, they kind of like go, but they know that maybe the ball's going to go out and that the goal's covered and whatever they use their break. Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't. He stuck his hand out, didn't he? And then one little touch on Hojlund's foot, and he done like 3 spinning backflips on the floor, and he decided to give it. You know, big up Couch in the building. And listen, I thought his distribution today was much better. He made some good saves, even when they were offside. There was a couple of good saves that he made in as well. But I keep talking about when it comes to goalies, and I said it in the chat so many times, when it comes to goalies stepping up and winning you points. But even when you're having a hard game like we are today, which has been very poor for our standards, goalies saving you points. Yeah, I know Caicedo ended up getting us back in the game, but you know, in that moment, he just can't be trusted for me. He's just one of them guys I just cannot trust. So listen, I'm not going to be too big of him. I do think he had a bit of a bozo moment. Other than that, I thought he had quite a good game. I'm going to stick him straight down the middle, and I'm going to say 4 or 5 or 6. I don't care. Like, to be honest, I've got more that I want to say about others rather than talking about him today. But I still think that in that moment when we needed him to be a bit more, you know, he didn't. So, I mean, Ads, what's your thoughts on Sanchez?
Again, like yourself, I thought he had a pretty decent game up until obviously the penalty. Made some good saves. Made a really good save from Hojlund before that free kick that they had. Another decent save from Rashford. Some other good saves, and you know what it did actually impress me was some of his claims from crosses. I thought he came out and actually dealt with some crosses today, which were really good. And all of that probably would have given him like a 6 out of 10, just to be like, it was decent, it was fine. But then the goal happens, and like, don't get me wrong, there were some big mistakes leading to Hojlund being in that position. But then once he's there, you would just like to think that your keeper would bail you out in that situation, and he didn't. So for me, he would get a 5. Distribution was better today, but you know, the moment that you need him to really help you out in that moment, he didn't do it. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, Hassan, thoughts on Sanchez?
I'll just keep it quick and simple, just so it doesn't annoy anyone else even more. He had a decent game, but it was just a bozo moment, to be fair. That just completely ruins it. And that's the difference between having like a half decent sort of keeper and a world class sort of keeper. Like, it's just a composure when someone gets in the box or when the ball like that gets pinged. They don't stretch out their arms and they don't just panic and stuff like that. But besides that, he actually did have a decent game and his distribution was good. But this bozo moment and this bozoness has to actually stop, man, because it's just going to annoy us all. And to be honest, it's just going to make him, you know, go out the door at the end of the season. But yeah, it's just whatever you want to give him, 4, 5, 6 is whatever. Like, the bozo moments probably ruined his performance today.
Okay. Felix, when we get to Madwakey and etc., I'm going to bring up these comments. Guys, if you have any specific comments about individuals that you want to talk about, then I will star them. And when we get to them, I will come back to the comments. Okay, so just put them up. Listen, let's get straight into it. Malagusto. Where do I start? Very talented player, someone I wanted at this football club, and I still think it's going to be very good for us moving forward. However, today, this guy, oh my God, number one, Maresca's got to stop doing this decoy, him in the final third, trying to be, I don't know, Cole Palmer as a 10 when he receives the ball, trying to play balls inside the back or whatever, or taking shots, or trying to make that final pass in the attacking instance, because it's not his game. Yeah, he's full of energy. He'll get up and down the pitch and he works hard for the team. But when he gets himself into them positions, not good enough for me. Yeah, that's something I think Maresca needs to look at tactically with Gusto and think, actually, well, how do we utilize it? If Gusto's playing, do we actually do it off the left with Cucurella, a further up? And probably not, because I don't think that's much better. The best person in final third spots for me is Reece James. But the issue with Reece James is he can't run. He hasn't got the energy to get up and down the pitch or as much as Gusto, and they've always got that problem with his hamstring, his thigh, whatever it was. But Gusto was not good enough today, and he really annoyed me. And he's someone that I like a lot, and today he didn't impress me whatsoever. And we all called it in the chat: get him off at half time, put Cucurella on, and let's play Reece James off the right. Maresca made that decision. He saw that, and I understand that it goes to show that he's seeing what we were seeing. But listen, come on, Malo, man, you're better than this. You're getting the ball. Yeah, and it's like you and Madwakey have never fucking played with each other. You're running down the wings, overlapping each other, overpassing balls. Yeah, and when we're on the attack, when you've got players that are trying to get in the box to try and wait for you boys to do something, and you're just completely wasteful. And obviously, when it gets to Madueke later, but that right-hand side really pissed me off in the first half because a lot of it was going down that side. Yeah, arguably not as much for Neto, who, again, we'll talk a bit later, but not good enough for me from Gusto. He's better than that, and we need to see better from him in this, moving forward. So, ads, I mean, I'm going to give him a 2, if you want my opinion. That's how hard I am on him today. He's a 2.
Yeah, man. Again, I can echo a lot of the same things you said, bro, because I'm a big fan of Gusto. Wanted him at the club again as well. Was very happy watching his comps and all of that. But this season, and I've said it for quite a few weeks, he's had some horror performances this season, and this was probably the worst. And it's a shame because you understand listening to Maresca why he values Gusto so much in terms of his energy, his ability to get up and down, and you can see that he understands the tactic really well in terms of when to attack the space and then to get into good positions, which he was doing. Like he was inverting quite well in terms of getting into the right position to do something. It's just he wouldn't do the right things. The end product was poor. Like even again when we talk about this team being such a technically secure team, we're so teched out. We're gonna absolutely play United off the pitch. We're gonna bop them. Players like Gusto are meant to show that, but he was awful today. Again, I would give him a 1 because he was horrible and he deservedly got hooked because when opportunities to actually do something offensively, he wasted those moments. And that's what is most frustrating to us as fans watching it live is when you see a player like him who we rate have such an awful moment when it matters. But then defensively, I can't ignore what he did defensively. Defensively, he was trash, bro. He was getting moved to by Rashford. Rashford was skinning him left, right. It was crazy, bro. And he's even having some other bad moments. The shot where Sanchez made the save from Hojlund, he obviously gave the free kick away, fouling Ugarte, and like Ugarte's running on the edge of our box. You don't have to be scared of him shooting, bro. You don't have to foul him like that. So even that could have led to a goal. So, boy, 1 out of 10, and that's me being generous. I'll be real. I've given zeros for much less than what he did today, but he gets a 1.
I forgot about him defensively, man. You've brought saying up that really irritated me. Marcus Rashford was skinning him. Marcus Rashford. This guy is dead,
bro. So I was losing my head, bro. I've almost lost my voice the amount I was shouting in that first half, bro. It was mad. It was mad.
Yeah, no, it was poor. Very, very poor. Hassan, what are you saying?
Yeah, it's just going to be a reiteration of what you guys were saying, man. He's just very, very lucky for me that he survived as long as he did. A couple more minutes in the first half, and he might have got a second yellow, be sending off. And it's just extremely poor for him today. Like the times where he, spun around the defender at one point, kicked it out for a goal kick, and just like going forward, shooting, even defending as well. He made like a washed player like Rashford who looks so dangerous and deadly today. And yeah, he just lucky for me. He didn't get a second yellow or anything, and he just survived the first half. That's the only sort of credit I'm giving him, the fact that he survived the first half with that sort of poor performance. And yeah, it was the right thing of him getting hooked off for Cucurella. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, to be honest.
Yeah, cool. Wesley Fofana. Now, you know my thoughts on this defence, guys. I'm not a big fan of any of our defenders. Yeah, some people like Fofana, some people like Colwill. I actually think Colwill is the best of a bad punch. It wasn't a good point for me, to be honest with you, Josh. I thought it was a wasted 2-point drops. If you want honest opinion. Like,
man said a good point. Are you crazy? Are you skunked? Right, don't let me get on to man them in the chat as well about a good point. Are you crazy?
All right. Anyway, it wasn't a good point. It's 2 points dropped for me. It's 2 points dropped, Josh. It is, man. Definitely 2 points dropped. Listen, keep getting the comments in the chat, guys. We'll get through them. Listen, Wesley Fofana. I actually didn't think he had too much of a bad game today. I don't think him or Colwill done too bad, other than getting held up by Hojlund, who I thought done quite well. Because we allowed him to be quite honest with you, in moments. But I will say one thing when it comes to Wesley Fofana. 2 things that irritate me with him. One is his adrenaline rush that he seems to get of just running out of position and forgetting what's behind him and just completely leaving spaces, which he loves doing, by the way. And number 2, as much as Sanchez was at fault for that goal, Wesley Fofana, again, and I keep saying about all our fucking defenders, yeah, all they do is ball watch.
Why? Like, we all do. Our defenders do that a lot. There's not one player.
He ball watched again. Why was Rasmus Hojlund, right? You've got him here. You're fucking next to him, yeah? Why is Rasmus Hojlund pulled away from you to the point that when you turn around, He's all the way over there when he receives the ball. Why? Like, go with your man. Like, it wouldn't have got to Sanchez coming out and be doing that if you'd have just marched your man properly for fun. This is what I keep seeing with our defenders. I keep saying it. Like, you know, other than that, like, fine. You know, good on the ball, get stuck in. You know, but he has these moments, and he continues to have these moments for me that he needs to clean up on. You know,
And then
probably 4, 5, 6. I don't care, whatever you want to give it. But yeah,
And then one thing I don't like about him sometimes, where he could get the ball, settle down, and play it, he makes a rash clearance that puts us back under pressure. I don't like that.
yeah. Ads, what's your thoughts on Mr. Fofana today?
Wait, what would you have given him as a rating for today?
Probably mid, in the middle. Again, I haven't really got. I don't think he was that, like, atrocious, like that it was his fault or whatever. But I'd just say average from the defence personally.
Fair enough. For me, again, I wasn't too impressed. I'll be honest. The reason why teams like Liverpool are finding it so easy against the United is because Van Dijk and Konate, they eat up people like Hojlund for breakfast. They don't get at all fazed by the physical battle. Like, they will nick the ball off with this guy and they will help you sustain pressure. And with Fofana and Cole especially today, but just talking about Fofana, I wasn't happy with the amount of times he was getting pinned by Hojlund and not being able to, like, nick in front, or when he did try and clear the ball, it was always hasty. It was always in a rush. It was always, like, disorganized, like he was just panicking. And we need defenders to bring calm to the back line, to bring coolness, to bring cool. We've got this under control. We're going to reassure you guys and give you guys the ball and then do what you need to do. But with him, he didn't do that. So I wasn't happy with that element of it. The amount of bad clearances I was seeing that were leading to them having throws or them getting position was not good enough. And then there were times in the box where he wasn't marking his men for me, which I did not like. And with the Hojlund penalty, and obviously which he scored from, why you've allowed the striker, their one and only striker, they play a one striker system. Why have you allowed the one guy who hits on your side to peel off and have 10 yards of space from you in the box? It's absolutely criminal. Like, that is criminal. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say he was, like, as bad as Gusto by no means, but for me, I would still probably give him a 4. Probably give him a 4, to be honest.
The thing that gave me his rating was what you said at the end. It was the one big thing that all defenders, good defenders, are able to do. You have to. One of the key things you learn as a defender when you defend is being aware in the box of your surroundings and marking your man. Especially like what you said, it's not that they've got 2 or 3 men arriving in the box and he's confused. Oh, do I go to him? No. If I go to that one, like, do you know what I mean? Like, he had one job. The man had one job. Do you know what I mean? So, as much as Sanchez was getting it, I don't think it's just Sanchez, because I think that could have been eliminated if Fofana just marked Hojlund properly. Because if Hojlund then receives the ball with Fofana on him, then Fofana deals with it, I think. Or he wins the head up because he's with him or whatever. I don't know. Like, just poor. Hassan, what are you saying?
I'm just going to say exactly what you guys were saying, man. Too many times that our defenders just ball watch, and you just make a lot of players look fucking phenomenal. I don't know what else to say, to be honest. It's always like, what I'm worried about in our defense is that one killer pass that goes through our defense, and 90% of the time we ball watch it. Every single time it's always that one pass that gets over the top, whether it's over the top or it's on the ground, threaded through. It's just every time, and it always leads to a goal or a bozo moment from happening, and it's just frustrating for me. And yeah, Fofana has been average. You could give him like 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. It's just one of them days where I don't rate, like, to be honest, I don't really rate our centre back pairings or the defence. And to be honest with you, it's just too many goals and too many it's the same type of goals that we let through anyways.
Yeah, which is not good enough. Javi, is there anything you want to say before we move away from Fofana, or do you just air a lot of what we're saying? And then...
Yeah. Looks like you trying to move along quickly. One thing I'm saying, you see, I think if we do upgrade, we're going to see a massive difference. I think we always going to leak in those 1 or 2 goals because we just have that bozo moment in us with one of our 2 defenders where we can't sustain pressure.
Yeah, he's got a little one in the back. I can hear.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I'll start with you then, if you've got a moment on Colwill. What was your thoughts on Colwill's performance?
I didn't think Cole was too bad, but you know how I know this is a bogey ground and we just played like shit when I seen him kicking the ball out of bounds. I don't think his passing was up to par today. Like, maybe it's because the options as well was limited. I don't know if we had a lot of movement around us, like especially when Mudryk came on. He's just very brain dead, not knowing where to be or to collect the ball. So if he's trying to play it out wide, he has no options to play it out wide. A couple of times he did go through the middle. Palmer was a ghost today. Jackson was in. I don't know if it was them doing that or Manu was just clogging out the space and forcing us to go out wide. And when we went out wide, they clamped it. You know what I mean? They put the pressures on the wide to force the turnovers in there. Also, our midfielders were kind of Bar Caicedo, kind of sloppy in there today as well. So I'll give him a 5-6. I don't think he was too bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll be quite honest with you quickly. I thought he's balls. He's playing out. There was some good moments of his ball playing out, but I had the same problem. Ad said earlier, he had the same problem that Fofana had with Hojlund. Though, how's this guy pinning you? Like, don't get me wrong. It got to the point where and that sounds a bit, and it was all right. It's working together, but they're double teaming this guy as if he's like fucking, I don't know, living prime Robert Lewandowski or Didier Drogba. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to get the ball off the guy, and I'm just like, all right, sweet, but we lack physicality, in my opinion. We lack physicality. I think we're good. I think Fofana's probably aerially our best jump, like, able to jump sort of thing. But in terms of Colwill, he's for me still the best of a bad bunch. If you had to pick one of our defenders, and I think that there is a good defender in Colwill. I just don't know about the chemistry connection that we have at the moment, and I know we've got to give it time with Fofana. Because and we're doing that, and even Fofana's been injured and stuff like that, so we've got to wait and see. But we lack that real leadership quality, a communicator, someone that can control the defense, command, get them up the pitch, be aware. You need that in your team, and I don't know. I just don't feel it from what I'm seeing at the moment. I'm probably one of the minority, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to our defense in terms of how I don't really like any of them that much, but I'm not fond of them. They don't give me this sense of security. And I know the goalkeeper's not amazing, but you go into games not feeling like we got Cole and Fofana. Like, they've got this. I've never had that feeling, But yeah, again, mid for me. Ad, what are you saying?
Yeah, man. I mean, this is going to be one of those games where I definitely need to watch it back, but because how I feel in the moment is very emotional and very frustrated by and underwhelmed by a lot of these performances. Because again, someone like Cole, who I've been talking about for years, yes, last season wasn't the best. Left back situation, Portugal, all of that, cool. He had the excuses. And this season, while he has started well, people are like starting to put them. There's somebody in our group chat, right, Jem? I'm not gonna name them out because I don't think it's the worst take ever. But he was trying to put this guy already in conversation with the best centre backs in the league, and I'm like, cool. I like Cole a lot. I like his attributes, and he's had a good start to the season. But let's just chill. Let him put in some big performances in big games, and then we can start doing all of that. But again, we saw him against Liverpool, very shaky, and gave away a penalty. This game, for me, again, very shaky. Again, struggled physically with Hojlund. I thought he struggled more than Fofana in terms of that. Some of the clearances he was doing, sending it into the disabled section and into Rose, into the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, all this nonsense, bro. For Colwill and your caliber, where you're meant to be strong on the ball, not good enough. In terms of actually progressing, like breaking lines, progressing play, that wasn't really there to be seen. So for me, how can I be happy and accepting of a performance like this from Colwill when people are talking about him in all these big conversations? I can't.
True.
And I don't get how people can now say these things and be okay with it. Like, oh, he was just okay. I'm sorry. We were meant to go here and batter Man United. So how was it acceptable for Man them to just perform like this? It's not. So I thought he was worse than Fofana for me. So I gave Fofana a 4. I'm going to give Levi a 3.
Fez. Chelsea FC, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. It says sideways Maresca has been able undone all attacking progress. Sanchez involved in all goals conceded this season. Top 6 will be dream. Forget
It's an overreaction.
Well, okay, fair enough. I appreciate your and respect your comments. I wouldn't say I fully agree with it yet. I think we've been okay.
Listen, big up the super chat, but that take wasn't it, man.
That was an overreaction. That was an overreaction. Yeah, and let me just say, can I just say one thing, Jam? I know you're trying to get through the show. Like
Yeah.
maybe we played shit today. Of course, I'm acknowledge that we played shit. We played shit at Man U. But I feel like a lot of our fans since we started we're playing way better than we have last season, or better, of course. We're kind of setting ourselves up like over the top. We need to understand some things here. Like we're still a team in progress. We're still a work in progress, and I think we're actually bar this game. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not. This game is shit. I still think we're a bit ahead of where I thought we were gonna be, but I know we're not there yet. This is why I'm not shocked at this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that because I agree. I don't think we are. I'm not saying this is the complete best of the best you're going to see of the system. You know, it's still early doors, but there's also got to be an expectation when you come up against certain teams when you're in a run of form. And we were in a bit of a run of form. All right, we lost to Liverpool and stuff, but we played well in them games. You know, and it's like going into Man United. You know, people were talking about Chelsea playing well against Man City. People were talking about Chelsea losing to Liverpool, but actually being the better team, you know, and playing well. You know, could we argue today against Man United, who are nowhere near at their levels, to say that we were the better team on the pitch? We had more of the ball. What the fuck did we do with it?
Yeah,
because
I think today was our worst game. I think that today was our worst performances. And I don't maybe Bournemouth, I don't know, but I think today we were the worst. We didn't do anything.
Chelsea FC says, let's see at the end of the season, laughing clown. We will see. We will see. Thank you again for the donation, though, as well. Let's quickly move on to Reece James, who has played in a left-back position in the first and the right-back in the second. Made one really bad pass, which nearly caused us a problem, which I didn't forget about. But he's just, you know, he also done some very good things that I like today, where he picked the ball up and sprayed left and right with his ability of being able to carry and move the ball quickly forward for us, which I saw today. I don't know, like he's on his, you know, how fit he is or how he is conditionally wise, if he's on his way up to finding that ball, which I hope is coming very soon, because he is a very important player. So you can see why he still starts at this football club when he is fit. Don't get me wrong. I just think we've got to try and utilize the best of his qualities if we're not going to allow him to go forward, though, because if he goes forward, I think maybe we can utilize our midfield to maybe cover that space. Not to say that he can't get back, but maybe not as much as maybe the Gusto side of things, which we've seen him go up and down. But at the same time, I feel like we need to utilize his qualities further up the pitch in creating, in being able to actually receive the balls at the end of the boxes if he is receiving them and have that threat, because adding him up there as well is a lot more for me. Defensively, he'll do a job. You know, he works hard. He sometimes falls asleep for me, though. You know, he looks like you can see why he's not a real leader. To be honest, I don't see that leader. And I know Maresca spoke about it. We lack that leadership presence. But I don't know, you know, average. I don't really have a problem with Reece James today. There was a couple, like Couch said, 2 bad passes. Okay. Other than that, I don't really know what to really say about Reece James in the game. But yeah, I mean, Ads, what was your thoughts? Anything you'd like to highlight?
Yeah, that last point you made, bro, I was literally clicking my finger to that because that was spot on. Like, of course, I love Reece. We all love Reece. If you know ball, you know we're talking about one of the best fullbacks in the world, if not the best. And the fact that he's come back to the team and he's already looking pretty much like his old self, it's testament to how good the player is. But yeah, you do see his weaknesses in terms of he's a bit lax. Like, he's one of those defenders who will defend only if it's necessary. If he thinks there's not danger, he won't actually go with it. And there was a situation in the first half where Garnacho makes a terrible run, he's offside, but Reece only just plays him up, and it's good defending, but he holds his hand up and he stops. It's you can't take that risk in case it plays on. Normally the linesman would just let it play on because of the whole VAR thing, but obviously they called up the flag and fair enough in it. But I feel like Reece does that kind of thing a lot. If it's at the back post, he won't always make sure that he's defending it. He will just wait and see if he doesn't need to burst along. And I think maybe the energy reserves in Reece right now is probably a big weakness in his game, because, again, I need to watch back the second half to understand why he wasn't able to get into the same positions that Gusto got into. Because, again, you all could admit Gusto was awful today, but the positions that he got into were threatening in the first half. And I felt like Reece never really got into those same positions while playing in the same position. So tactically, I need to understand if maybe he wasn't given the license to go forward, or if he just hasn't got the energy to go up and down like Gusto can. So that was what was a bit frustrating with Reece. But again, you still saw his quality in terms of being able to win fouls against the pressure, play some good long balls into Madueke or into Neto, which were quite good. And yeah, I just thought he was decent. Again, you can maybe want a bit more, but I would just say he was decent. So maybe a 5 or a 6 for Reece.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go up to Hassan and Xavi if you've got anything you want to say, because we do need to kind of get on. So I want to get on to the attack.
I'll just be a little bit quick and just add on a couple of points. I just think that he is being just a little bit protected right now. He's only going up when he's probably instructed to, or he's probably got like a little bit less freedom like he used to, just because of the amount of injuries he's had over the last couple of seasons. And yeah, I don't mind it. I could see him slowly, like, having that license to go forward and do his thing again. But right now, he just needs to do that sort of defensive sort of work and just go up when it's absolutely necessary, and just like slowly just build up the amount and rack up as much as appearances and games and get fit again. It could be, it could just be fitness and the amount of energy, but for me, in my opinion, you will be starting someone for 90 minutes if they're not 100% fit. I just think that he's being protected for a little bit today, but yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Xavi, anything you want to say?
No, you got to move. So yeah, I just agree with you guys. I just think he's like, we're easing him in. He's been a year out, and this is his 3rd game, 3 big games. And he missed a lot of development time. Let's be honest. Like, he's still, I know he's getting up there in age a bit, but still a lot of stuff that these young guys have to learn in these moments that sometimes you catch them sleeping and stuff like that, or dwelling on it. But average, I didn't have too much complaints. We can move.
Yeah, I'll be quick because Kukurea was only on for, well, I'll say he was on for half, so we can be very quick. But I don't know, really just quite average again. I didn't really expect that. He was doing what Gusto was doing. The instruction was given to him, and Reece James was the one that was sitting more. So, yeah, we didn't really. I don't know whether I just don't like them in that half pocket. I don't like them in that pocket. It doesn't matter who it is, if it's Gusto or Kukurea. I don't like him in that pocket. But what we did see Kukurea do a bit more was the inverting, especially when Lavia came off, and then obviously Enzo was brought on as well a bit later on. So I don't know. Like, I like Kukurea. I just think he brings balance in what we're trying to do. I actually think he's our best inverted fullback in terms of off the ball, because he carries that sort of aggression of trying to win the ball back when we lose it very quickly, which I like. Again, I would probably give him a mid/below mid rating. Again, nothing exciting, nothing too bad, but yeah. Anyone else has got anything they want to say on that? No. Okay.
Yeah, there's not much to say on Mark, to be honest. Not much.
Right, let's get into the midfield because Lavia and Caicedo started going into this game, and we're going to start with obviously Romeo. I thought it was very good. And listen, just I'll ask a quick question on Chelsea FC. He says, "Tell me the one area of progress since the end of last season." Can I just ask you one question? Was you a Poch fan? I just want to know. Like, can you just let us know in the chat? Were you a Poch fan? Or was you? Yeah, was you upset when Poch left? I just want to know what your response is to that. Look, Lavia very good in tight spaces. You know, the ability to be able to get pressed and beat a man and receive and move forward and release. I like with him, physical as well. However, in the first half, I wasn't entirely impressed with our midfield, to be quite honest. Yeah, you know, both of them were kind of. We'll get to Caicedo in a minute, who obviously was very better in the second half. But in the first half, they got about and they got stuck in, and you know that I can see why we start them, because in them games we need legs, we need physical, we need them to get around. But sometimes I feel like they can do a bit more with the ball. Maybe I'm being a bit highly critical, but when they get the ball. And they beat the press. You know, he done it once where Lavia received the ball and he turned quickly and he played it really quickly into Palmer, and then Palmer turned and then he could carry the ball, move it forward. But there's moments where we're a bit further up the pitch into the final third bit of the transition where we need that eye of someone to be able to just maybe knock a ball over the top or play it. And you can see Midwake's maybe trying to make a run in behind in that space, or Neto on the other side, or sometimes even Jackson will try and spin his defender rather than dropping in. And they go to the sideways thing where it's like they could do it, but they don't, and they just keep it moving. And maybe that's an instruction from the manager, don't get me wrong. But sometimes I feel like in games where we're not ticking, like giving it to the final third and they're just smashing it up and we're scoring, and it's like, yeah, you need something else. You need someone to bring something else to maybe help the attack a bit as well. And I know they were bad, and we're going to get to that, but I just wanted them to be a bit more progressive with the final third ball, is what I was saying, So listen, Lavia, I think he's quality. I'm so glad we've got him. Honestly, he's a top he's a top player for us, and I'm glad that he's here. And he's still very young, and he's maturing, and he's doing his thing. And good. Overall, I thought he was fine. But like I said, it's just certain things that I want to see more. If they're going to be the two, they need to bring us something. I need to see more when we're in the final third sometimes from them. That's all. Not just being that physical presence, break it up quickly, 1-2, on the sideways side of it. It's like they play a lot of sideways football when I watch it, which is fine, but not when we're trying to score. I want it to go over the top sometimes, when they're, give our wingers a chance to actually attack, basically. But yeah, good. Ads, which thoughts?
Yeah, I thought he started the game better than Caicedo. Broke lines quite well in terms of just dribbling through the press. A couple of times he got caught on it in situations that I wasn't fond of. And again, It's one of those situations where I like and rate Lavia highly, just like I do Caicedo. And I want them to impose themselves on the midfield more because, again, I don't rate Bruno at all. Ugarte's trash. Casemiro is pretty decent. I think he gets quite maligned too much, but again, he hasn't got his legs. So it's a midfield that we should walk all over, and I don't feel like we did that for enough of the game. I still think we were, of course, the better team today, and it was more on the attack while we didn't do more. But I still wanted a bit more from the midfield. But again, Lavia, I thought he was fine. He was fine. I thought he was okay. So I'll probably give him like a 5 or a 6.
Okay. Xavi, anything you want to say?
Yeah, you guys know I'm a big Lavia fan, but I didn't think it was his best game today. I didn't think it was poor. I think he dwelled a couple times he lost it in there, and that could have led to some transition. And I don't know. I'm kind of different. I actually don't think this. I see what you guys saying about the athletic portion of it, but I don't think this is a big improvement on the Enzo Caicedo midfield. I don't know what it is. Something is off. You know what I mean? I don't think it's wow. This is the
Wait. So do you mean it's not a big improvement in overall in terms of the whole package? Because I think it's a massive improvement in terms of us defensively. Because again, even earlier in the game, Lavia was winning a lot of balls.
Okay. Defensively, yeah, I think it's an improvement. But I think in I don't know. There's just something missing. You know what I mean? Maybe they just got to get up to speed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they need a bit of time, mate. I don't think they've played enough to.
Maybe that's it. You know what I mean? So,
but that being said, there was enough time for them to perform better against this United, and that's why I'm so mad at the performance. Because again, I'm seeing on paper, Lavia, Caicedo, we should boss them, and it wasn't a bossing. It wasn't.
I agree.
I don't know are we going to talk about? Did you guys already talk about the performance already? Or are you guys doing play rating?
Yeah, we did, but you could quickly jump on it if you want. Yeah, go on. What you say?
There's so much of our game in every aspect. Jackson, I don't know. I need to watch the game back because I think I was just so frustrated as well. Maybe do we give credit to Man U for clogging out the midfield, or are we just poor? No. Jackson, they were not involved in the game. It's for the taking, right? Yeah, I'm not bugging. Yeah. All right, Jackson not coming, not doing his normal stuff. Making channels. Maybe it's poor service. Palmer ghost in the game. Madueke running. Normally our game a lot. If you see it in the Liverpool game, we were able to break those lines at ease.
Move the ball quicker. That's why. We never moved the ball really quick. It was always in second gear. It was never bang, bang, bang like we usually are, It's just...
And then we made a lot of mistakes too. I think we did James into the midfield. And I think we dwelled on the ball a little too long, and our decision making was very poor. You guys talked about Gusto already in that first half.
Yeah.
We got it to him, and then it just broke down. I don't know, man. I need to recap that game, but just all around poor. I'm really disappointed.
Listen, Caicedo, I thought, second half was immense. Again, this guy this season has been amazing. One midfielder that I think needs to start always, but he had a bit of for me, he was very wasteful in the first half. First 20 minutes, he struggled. In fact, and I agree with Ed, I thought Lavia was actually better in the first part of this game, in terms of actually carrying the ball or actually winning the ball back and, you know, defensively being shoot. But the second half, this guy was everywhere. Like, he was everywhere. He was winning balls up the pitch. He was, you know, covering where Rashford was trying to get in behind James and nicking it off him, and then, you know, carrying the ball up. And, you know, the only thing with me with Caicedo, and I can't really blame him for it, because I think he's very good with the ball. Like, I do think he has that ability, range of ability to be able to move the ball in a manner where he can be quite effective as, like, in the final third. But I just don't think, like, I think he's more of someone that just wants to chase the ball, win it, and just get us ticking again. Like, that's when I look at him, and I like that, by the way. This is not me criticising him, because he's very good at doing it. It's a very important trait to have in a team when you're trying. And that N'Golo Kante, getting around the pitch, winning the ball and just ticking it over. That doesn't really do too much amazing on it, but he has got that ability, is what I'm saying, because he does carry the ball sometimes, and he does find himself in the final third where he's like, do I just play a free ball? Not do I? And we've seen him do it in the past, and it's looked very good in it. And, you know, I think I just want to see more of it. I just want to see him do it more in the final third, because I think this midfield couple, these two could be very good for us in the offensive, in the offensive part, even if the attack, Palmer, Jackson, and that ain't ticking to the levels that we have been seeing in terms of opening up the play and actually allowing us to create and maybe, you know, helping us to aid the goal later on. So, yeah, listen, great goal, by the way. Control on his body, and he hit that first time bottom corner. I love that. That was beautiful. But yeah, pretty impressive. Happy with him. And and ultimately he saved us from a very embarrassing loss to Man United.
Yeah, and the timing of the goal was important, because that game had ticked on longer, we would have lost that.
Yeah. Anyone else? Ed, you want to say?
Yeah, for me, I thought he started the game quite slow, some sloppy passes. Sort of just grew into it as it went on. So I'll give him obviously respect for that. Again, similar with the Lavia conversation, I would have expected more for a player of his caliber in a game like this. And yeah, listening to you speak, it sounds like you're saying that we miss Enzo's passing in a game like this.
Not entirely. I've always said what I think about Enzo in terms of a passer out of the three of them. I think he's variations better than this. I've already said that. I think that will always be the case. What he can't make up for is just all the other things, which is what they're very good at doing, which is getting around the pitch and winning balls. It's that, you know, and I like all that, but it's just then what do we do to help the attack and get us going quick when we need, you know, when we win it a bit deeper, for example. Like, I want him to be a bit more, and with Enzo, he will do that. You know, he'll go ping, ping, ping. He'll just get the ball, look forward, and want to just play it.
Yeah,
so
he'll definitely be the one to ping it more. And again, it's a risk. Yeah. It's risking a reward with that, because obviously you probably give up less control, because maybe every 3 or 4 won't probably go right. But when it goes right, then you're getting our wingers in 1v1 situation. So yeah, I do think that Caicedo and Lavia could have done more to break lines at times, but there were times where even they would, and then the attack would mess it up. So yeah, I thought again for Caicedo, I just felt like it was again another 5 or 6 out of 10 performance. It was kind of mid. I expect better, but that goal stopped me from breaking my whole house, because if we lost this game, bro, the amount of damages I would have to pay for over the weekend, it would have been crazy, bro. Crazy. So big up for the goal. Great finish. That's what you want to see from these big money signings in big games. It's just a shame it didn't lead to more than 1 point.
Yeah, 100%. Anyone else? Anything to say? 8 out of 16 ground duels, not great. Listen, you know, I think there was another stat where it was quite telling. It made him look like he'd done very well over the 90 minutes, but sometimes you've got to use a bit of the eye test, I think, sometimes on this. And I'm not trying to dig him out, because, like I said, I think he's performing very well. But I do think
he was not. The thing about it, he was better out of a bad bunch, and he was still not great. You know what I mean? So much of our team. Yeah. So, like, I don't even like to use the best, because I don't know. Maybe I'm just still a little pissed off. So excuse me. But the thing is, like, when I think Palmer had, like, took a touch on the sideline and it goes out of bounds. I just knew, like, you know, so much of our touches were off today, and I don't know if it's due to how we started the game. I just need to I'm hoping this is a one-up, but I'm looking at the table and our past is like 5. I mean, granted, our fixtures have been more difficult. I think that Arsenal game is a big game. Our form has not been the greatest, but I don't know.
Chelsea FC says Maresca's undermining Palmer, forcing him to play away from goal and forcing him insidewards, building up. Manager not playing into strengths of players. I don't know about that. I mean, you've seen a lot of Palmer going the other way and running behind and sometimes being the last defender. Today, he was sometimes the furthest player on the pitch on the press. You know, like, I get what he means, but you got to remember, Palmer's a playmaker for us. He will have to drop deep. He will have to pick the ball up. He will have to, you know, that goal against, was it Newcastle, where he picked the ball up and just bang straight around the back. Now, this is what our wingers need. And this is why I want our midfielders to do it more, not just Palmer, because when Palmer can't play, and to the levels, and we're going to get to Palmer in a minute, it needs to come from somewhere else. And this is where you either use your bench or you utilise the midfield or whoever it is that you're bringing into these pockets, like Gusto or Reece James, hopefully later on. Like, you need someone else to be able to bring these wingers into the game more that are very direct. And Neto and Madueke are very direct, and they want to run behind a lot of the times. And we just didn't do that enough today, which is very, very frustrating because we were just very slow. But moving away from Moises, listen, I'll bring out Enzo Fernandez quickly because I have to. But he should have scored. Like, there's nothing to hide about it. The ball lands to him outside the box. All he's got to do is place it in the top right or top left, and we'll probably go and win the game. But, you know, he kind of just, I don't know if he stumbled or he lost I don't know what he was doing, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, not happy with that. Being an Enzo, you know, someone that likes Enzo, but there's not much to really say. He only came on for 20 minutes, and when he did get on, he, you know, received the ball, tried to get us going, play balls left and right, and, you know, trying to help Caicedo in the middle. Like, yeah, just not much to really say. I mean, anyone else say? Like,
£105 million, Gem, and everybody listening, like and subscribe, please. He's got to put that away. I don't care. Like, I'm sorry. When we were talking about this guy coming to the club, and we were watching all the comps, and we watched him at the World Cup, great ball strike and all of these stuff, right? And even every time he goes on an international break, you see him strike one from 25 yards, and it looks great. But for us in a Chelsea shirt, I don't understand. Is it because it's a different shade of blue? Is it because he's playing with different types of players? I don't want to discriminate or say why or inject any that conversation to this conversation, but I just don't get it. And I liked Enzo a lot. Obviously now it's just strictly just business for me. I just want him just to perform. As a person, I don't care for it anymore. But like, it's just disappointing because again, you see the attributes that he has and what he can bring to the team, and where our midfielders were not necessarily punching the game or making things happen in terms of their passes. Enzo could do that, and he tried to do it a bit, but it's just, again, it wasn't like I could judge him really on the performance. It's just, you come on the pitch, you have a chance 10 yards from goal, the keeper's outside of the goal, and yeah, the pass to him wasn't even the best, but take a touch, put it in the corner just first time, like, do something.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. And again, you just want players to turn up in these big moments, and they don't turn up in these big moments.
Yeah, he needs to sort that out. You know, that's on him. And I can't defend him for that. At the end of the day, I don't know whether leaving his wife and whatever was a good choice or whatever. I don't know what's going on in his brain. He's got a lot going on. From what we're hearing, I hear it's a lot going on about him. Nomadic, big up to Nomadic in the building. Hey, what you saying, Nomadic? Big up. I do want to highlight this very quickly, very, very quickly, because for me, it's becoming a bit grinding. That Jackson plays the whole game, and Palmer, by the way, because he could have played in the 10. Yeah, not really do much, even though they have been very good, and I understand that. But you've got a player on the bench who can score you goals or give you something different, or could have been the difference today, like he did in the game against Bournemouth away when he decided to bring him on 82 minutes and score the winning goal. People forget about, and doesn't play him, and it's really, it's grinding me. This Nkunku thing is grinding me because you've got a top player on there. All right, he didn't have the greatest of game last game round. I remember he was very poor with his touches. You know, not finishing chances in the cup against Newcastle away. He didn't look like Nkunku, but there was more to that. The chemistry to the team that we put out. There was more to that than just Nkunku not being good. But to not be able to just come on the pitch and try and have some sort of influence in the game and maybe change it for us and be that difference, because 1-1, he could have came on again for the last 10 minutes and had one opportunity and scored. He could have, because he's that kind of player. But we don't know that because Maresca doesn't want to play him. He wants to leave him on the bench and playing in cup games. Nkunku, by the way. Like,
I completely agree, Jim. And again, I feel like I've been saying this whole time. Like, as good as Noni started the season off, and Neto's recent form, and even Jackson this season, he's putting out really good numbers. I still maintain that our second best attacker in this team is Nkunku. And the fact that he can't get more minutes than he's getting is quite strange to me. Again, I get it. Systems, it is what it is. He's not the best 10 that we have. And probably for how we want to play, he's not the best number 9 to start games. Fair enough. But he can come off the game and win you this match. But he doesn't get trusted, and I don't get it. And tactically, there is a way to play him off the left and not have him tracking back bears or being a touchline winger. Because again, we saw it with Poch. Poch found a way, again, when Nkunku was fit, which he barely was, but Poch found a way to make him useful towards the end of the season playing from the left. And he wasn't having to track back so much or play like a touchline winger. He was affecting the game in the middle and getting goals. And Maresca hasn't found a way to do that with him. But instead of seeing Nkunku in the pockets that you can affect the game centrally, this season we're seeing Gusto end up there or Cucurella end up there in Maresca's tactics. And listen, I like Maresca ball and all of these things. It's just that one thing I don't fuck with. I don't fuck with it at all. And it's like you could get Nkunku to operate in our spaces, but we don't. No. Instead we have Gusto there doing up madness.
Imagine Nkunku with those positions outside the box, like making decisions, like that's what you want, or running.
And there's a very easy tactical switch you can do to make that happen. But again, this isn't the stream for that. This is the stream for talking about this game and cooking certain players. And we need to get to a certain somebody, Jem. Please, let's cut the small talk, fam. Let's get to him right now, fam. Yeah.
Are we talking about this man? Is it about Noni?
Not my Nigerian brother. We'll leave him for later. That small threat. We'll get on to we'll cook him later. There's somebody here he's actually in my Abbey right now who needs to get cooked here because
we're gonna come
I was being fam. Listen, can I get this cooking going? Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, let me go back and then just because you're going to start on it anyway. So and it's very weird because we don't usually talk about him, do we? But go on, you can go. Go on, let's go.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, we all rate Cole Palmer extremely highly. World-class tags, you want to put him whatever, cool. But we're talking about just today, and also you want to rope in Liverpool away, because that was another big game. He did F4 against Liverpool, but today you had the space to do something. You were playing against a dead midfield. You had the chances, and whether it wasn't you released the ball quick enough, or you didn't shoot quick enough, or you overhit a cross, you overhit a pass, your shot got blocked, you gave away the ball, you were letting the ball go off the pitch of play at OT against this dead team. It's unacceptable. And listen, you have enough credit in the bank where I can say, you know what, you had a bad game, I can live with it. But at the same time, you can't be putting up performances like this on. We have you in the conversation that we have you in. Again, you're meant to be the main player in this team. And let's be really honest, guys. What was that difference between his performance today and Felix midweek? Let's talk about it, because Felix was threatening, but then there was no end product. And there were some nice touches from Felix midweek, but we don't really care because you had nice touches, but where were the end product? They weren't there. Cole Palmer, there were some lovely touches today. Like he deleted Casemiro at one point in the first half, which was beautiful, right? And even when he flipped it over Lissandro's head in the last minute, which should have been a red card, by the way, but fuck these refs, cool. That was nice. Couple of nice touches here and there. There was a corner which Madueke headed onto the post, cool. But where is the performance over 90 minutes? I'm sorry, like it wasn't good enough. And listen, rival fans will tell us, oh, he's not performed in big games, blah, blah, blah. That's all waffle, right? We know that Palmer turns up in big games. We know that. But today and Liverpool weren't good enough. Arsenal, he needs to turn the F up. Because if he doesn't, it's peak. It's peak, man. You can't be dealing with that.
I feel very frustrated with him in terms of where he found himself in the final third and the decision making that he makes. The one thing he's very good at doing is making the right decision, right? Whether he's going to shoot or whether he's going to play a ball into someone and then we score from it. That's why he has such a good GA, because he knows when to release the ball. He knows when to take a shot. He knows, and he's consistent with it. But today, there was so many times where he gets the ball in the box, and he was taking 1, 2, 3, 4 touches.
That play at the end of the game.
Yeah, or not passing. Yeah, or not even passing it when you've got people running that way, or running in front of you. He's just being greedy, to be honest with you. And he was greedy. And to be quite honest with you, I thought he was quite... Yeah, when someone knows they're the man, isn't it? Like, they're just the man. They kind of just like... He just had that kind of attitude about him. And I love that about him, because that's who he is. But, like, you're not playing well. You're making the wrong decisions. We're relying on you to make... if you're not going to shoot, make the right pass and, help us beat this dusty Man United team, because it's a dusty team. Yeah, and you're just making the wrong decisions every time. Like what Ed said, that is, I criticise João Felix, and I've been a big criticizer of him since he came out here first time round, and he's still doing what I knew he couldn't do, which is his output being poor. Cole Palmer's not that guy. You know, Cole Palmer is everything we need right now, but he needs to be called out for his performance because, listen, we're not Cole Palmer FC, but when he doesn't play well and, you know, and we're at Man United and we need to break this up and we need the mentality, we need someone to be that, you know, it's usually him, you know, whether he doesn't score any assists or what, vice versa. So I wasn't impressed today. I wasn't impressed whatsoever. You can't honest, yeah. Good little touches here and there and he runs in behind. But where was your link with Jackson? Why are you not doing your 1-2s and running behind and attacking spaces? Why are you taking 400 touches when man are running around you and then deciding you just want to be greedy? Like, where did this all come from? Like, I don't know.
I would have given him a 2 out of 10, by the way. I thought he was that bad, especially for his status in this team. For me, it's a 2 out of 10. It was awful.
Javi, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, man. I just feel like at times, sometimes, like you could just see in this team, we default to like patch settings. Sometimes, especially when, for instance, like the game comes up, like we play like basketball. You know what I mean? Instead of taking the sting off of it, calming it down. We're still doing old habits. You know what I mean? Palmer, for instance, what got me frustrated, right? A guy like Neto, who normally has good service into the box, at the end of the game is clear on the right hand side of it. Why is he taking that most difficult option? You know what I mean? And he's been like cold all game. Even there's a play in the first half where he's like coming down on goal and he's just taking too long and he shoots it. I think the lit gets a block on it or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's shimmying until, and it needs to be talked about, boys. I think this season specifically, like the big game stuff is nonsense. Like we scored against City. He scored like what against Man U last season. He scored against Arsenal. Like he does perform. They take it out of context. But this year, like when we need, like for instance, Liverpool yesterday, I've seen Salah just take it and bang it, or against us. Those 2 little moments. Maybe it's just maturity, and sometimes like we still forget. I'm not excusing it. Shit performance today, and he deserves to get criticized. He sets the bar so high that now I'm expecting this from you. Like, you know what I mean? I know you got the quality to do certain things, and I just need to see it in these games where you can win us points. I think this is the problem too. Like, Jackson also makes, like, when Jackson is on it, I think Palmer's on it as well a lot of the time. And I feel like now that Jackson was quiet, because what Jackson does a lot too is he takes out space for Palmer to operate in. Like he drags defenders this way so Palmer could go in this pocket or vice versa. You know what I mean? But Jackson was non-existent. So we saw a nullified Palmer. Not excusing his performance because it was shit as well, but not Jackson so much. But it's, I don't know. Hopefully this is just that OT bogey. Or OT bogey ground thing. And I have a feeling we're going to turn up against Arsenal at home. Like we're going to do this at Old Trafford.
That's the one place I've always wanted to go and win. Just might put them to bin, man. That would be even better. I'm not gonna lie. So,
but it's home though.
Yeah. It's
You talking about Arsenal or OT?
Yeah, Arsenal. I'm talking about Arsenal.
Yeah, no. We're home.
Yeah, no. We got to beat them. I don't care where we are. We got to beat them, man. I can't stand it. Like, we need to put them to the thing. But listen, Mad Wakey, we got to fly through this quick because I know they're going to do some uploading soon. So, Noddy Mad Wakey, I'll be quite honest with you. I've been quiet. I like him. Ben. Yeah, I like him. He's just so up and down, and like he's not effective enough for me. Like he just dwizzles out of games. You know, he doesn't do enough with the ball. His decision making in the final third is just weird. Sometimes I just don't understand it. It will take too many touches, and then try and cut it back with his right foot, and it's like, I don't know. And it's just like his decision making is what really annoys me with him. And like today, the one thing he's really good at doing is getting the ball and running at your man. My man's running at Mazuri and getting put in his back pocket the whole game. Like, we haven't really got much options. Well, we did. We had Felix and we had Mudryk and we had, who else did we have? I don't know, Sancho weren't there, but he could have changed it. But I just want more from him. Like when I watch him, I just want more. And he just disappeared today. Like the attack was a disappear anyway. And listen, I don't think we helped him too much trying to play over the top and whatever. But when he did have the ball on the right, him and Gusto were very poor in the first half. They pissed me off, both of them, because they were just not doing enough with the ball. And like when you're not having a good game, but then you do get the ball. Yeah, the difference is of the better players, attackers, in the world of football. Like, you know, is that they will do something at one moment in the game. They'll get the ball and they'll do something with it. And with Madueke, he's still young. Yeah, he still needs to learn and whatever. But you know, if he's going to start, I need to see him being more effective. He can't just be.
I think the problem is, Jim.
Other games.
I think the problem is
too much for me.
A big problem is when he's not beating players or taking them down the line, he's quite ineffective. Like he needs to learn how to affect the game in other ways. So when like it's not working for him one-on-one and he's not getting the better of his opponent. And there's a couple of times he could have went at the defender and chose not to. I remember one time even the left back was out of position. There was like two wingers on the side.
He got put on his back when he tried to.
Yeah. Like he needs to. I think that's the next phase of his game. Find ways to influence the game when you're not like necessarily beating your player one-on-one. Maybe that pass, you know, that incisive pass, or like working well with link up, you know, so like certain things. I think it's time for him to get. I think Neto's my out and out right winger for right now, but it just sucks because I think Sancho is a specific game type player. Like when we need to be direct, he's not really the guy. And then I think Mudryk is just very brain dead, guys. He is very brain dead. Some of the things I'm just saying, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I mean he doesn't even get enough minutes really in the Premier League. But yeah, when he is playing, I mean he's been improving Mudryk, what I say, because he's had games in the cup competitions and whatever. He's like whatever, but yeah, I mean, anything else to say, Madueke, before we dip away from him quickly? Eds, anything you want to say?
Yeah, not too much. Again, he wasn't very good today. Getting pocketed by Mazraoui. The one time you see him 1v1 against Lissandro, and if you can that's a chance to get some real change. He didn't do it either. He's part of the reason why I've even lost my voice, because I was shouting at one thing he did second half. Like, it was mad. It was mad. It was mad. So yeah, I probably would have given him a 3. It wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Our best winger at the moment, Ads, Pedro Neto. I think personally, I like Neto. I like a lot of what he does. I still think he had a bit of a poor first half, but second half, getting the ball running that play, he had a good shot at goal. Unlucky, but you know, he got moved to the right, and again, he was, for me, as soon as he got moved to the right, he was actually more effective than Madueke was most of the game. Like, he was getting the ball more. He was, you know, linking play, trying to whip crosses in. Like, just what I like about Neto, the difference with Neto and him for me is, I think Madueke's better with the burst of speed and getting around and, you know, getting into that moment. But in that moment, I think Neto's just better, like in terms of decision making, right? Like, and I think he's just he's better in front of goal as well, in my opinion. Even though Madueke's got more goals, put him in front of goal.
This is what I'm talking about, though.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about, Jam. Even if Neto's not, say he's not beating his man necessarily, he'll put in that dangerous cross to set up an attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, give us something where he's affecting the game other than like beating his man, like, which is a key part of wing play. Don't get me wrong, but he actually offers other threat where you have to worry about him putting the ball in behind. I think. And that's another problem with us, like key players for us that can really affect our game, i.e. James, Lavia, and Neto. We kind of are being careful with them because we know the injury issues, so we're kind of easing them in. I think our injuries have improved, but it's the way we're handling them, and we're not really letting these guys off the leash. You know what I mean? So Reece James, for instance, I feel that first half, so I think kind of sets the tempo for the game of how our like attack and flow, you know, building up that chemistry. It was killed so much times in the game. We had to get going in that second half, and we never really found it. We didn't set the tempo or the rhythm on how we attacked because gusto, I think, was the main reason of breaking down that attack. So if Reece James is fully healthy and fit in that position, so much output. Lavia, if he's fitter, you know what I mean? I think we're still managing him because we know how injury prone. Neto, he's a guy that's injury prone. Don't get like he has big injuries for a long amount of time. You know what I mean? And so
I like him. I like him.
Yeah, but he's our best winger for me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know. How do you feel about it now since he's been here? Do you think has he impressed you, or do you think there's still more to come from him as well?
Yeah, definitely more to come with Neto. Definitely a lot more to come. I don't think he started too hard this season. And I didn't think he was looking that great off the left up until obviously recently, where he's been in good form, and obviously we hope that continues. I just do feel like while he's on the left, it just feels like we're missing that something, because I don't think he's a great goal threat. Again, I don't think neither is Noni other than the Wolves game. So we are missing a goal scoring winger to offset what Jackson does. And obviously him on the left, it can work and it can be potent if there's a constant supply in terms of him getting the cross in, knowing that someone's going to be on the end of it. And Noni isn't like this great back post attacker. And obviously Jackson isn't, Jimenez. Obviously prime Jimenez before the injury, like he was attacking all of these whip crosses from Neto at Wolves. So that's where he was a bit more potent. And I just feel like here it's not quite there, but we'll see how it develops over the season. But again, no, he was obviously good today. I think our most consistent performer over the 90 minutes. He did, the least things that got me upset during the game, because I was shouting a hell of a lot. So I thought he was good. He showed a lot of fight. He weaponized his pace. He was showing a lot of effort in that sense. Quality was okay, not amazing, but again, that's what was frustrating, is that he was probably our best player for me over the 90 minutes. And it wasn't due to quality. It wasn't due to amazing bits of individual brilliance. It was just down to him working really hard and using his pace. And it's that's not what I signed up for, being this super teched out team going to OT. I'm trying to bump them off the pitch. We didn't do that, which is what was really frustrating. But yeah, I thought Neto was good. I've got to go soon, so I want to just quickly talk on Jackson and say that Jackson was quite nullified. Didn't get many chances. When he did a moment in the box, the touches, the shots, or the attempt at then doing a shot, it wasn't good. Not his worst game, because I don't think he had great service, but there was even a moment at the end of the game where Palmer drills in a low cross, and I look at Jackson's movement on the replay, and it's when are you gonna make the effort to get in front of the centre back? Because you're just there wrestling with him, and you never moved when it was clear that Mudryk was gonna go play it to Palmer on the overlap and then fizz it across, and he's just there waiting, didn't really move, and then he kind of pulled off at the last second, and it's that's where having a top number 9, he makes that into a chance. And I just feel like we lack that with Jackson. But that's all I got to say, though. But big up you lot, man. Again, everybody in the chat, big up. Hopefully, we need to beat Arsenal for sure. But like and subscribe, people, man. Love.
Big up.
See you, bro. Take care, man. Listen, I'll be quick. I thought it was Romelu, Jackson, Lukaku today. Honest opinion, especially in the box. My goodness, this guy didn't. I thought his feet were stuck in, he couldn't move. The amount of times we got the ball in and then we crossed balls, like Ads was saying, and he just didn't attack the front post or whatever. He just waited, the ball has to come to him. He doesn't have to make that movement. It was just poor for me today. He wasn't good enough for me. Didn't work hard. I mean, he always works hard, but he's his ability of dropping deep and carrying the ball and opening space, he didn't do enough of that today. But we didn't play the ball in enough, so he was kind of nullified to a degree, but he still just wasn't doing enough in himself for me, and that was the problem. And we don't really have that much. We don't really have that much options other than Nkunku. I think should be given a chance, and it's not that he's a bad player, Jackson, because he's been very good, but we can see where he can be better, and with development and time, that will come. That will come. Do you have anything you want to say before we cut off on Jackson?
Yeah, I don't know. Today it was just lack of poor service or Jackson just not getting in the game. I don't know what it was. I don't really want to watch this game over, but I think I'm gonna have to. Because I don't know. Because bro, I think it's not that. Okay, I want another striker because Jackson shit. Jackson is far from shit. He offers overall well-round. He offers a lot more than a lot of other strikers. But the one thing he kind of doesn't have is that box pressing. Sorry, my kid is throwing fucking cup around. Say all right, I know people probably wouldn't rate, but a Chris Wood, right? So a number 9 that can occupy. Jackson occupies defender, but say we need to go in and use Neto's crossing or something like that, or when we do get to the line, cutting it back, being able to switch the game up and having different profile, it will suit us better. But I don't know. I'll just say this is.
We'll see. On to Arsenal. Yeah. On to Arsenal. Chelsea FC says, forget about trophies. This manager's not capable of winning anything. Sideways, boring, mid-table. I hope Arsenal smashes this from. Okay, Fez.
Let's go with this guy. He's wasting mad money from some stupid.
I don't know why you would want your own club to lose. I don't get people that go that deep. It's like people that just have
fucking idiot.
It's certain people just have a hate for certain players. Like they can't do anything about people moaning. Like I don't listen to it anymore.
It's
But
free money for you because he wasted about £5 or $5 US.
big up for the donation, though, Chelsea FC. We appreciate it. And obviously, if you're that upset, sorry that you're that upset. But listen, guys, drop points on to the next one, which is Noah. And then we've got Arsenal on the weekend. We will be back for that. Make sure you check out the videos after this, guys, that are being uploaded on Chelsea Fan TV. Hit the like buttons. Give us your comments below as well. Let us know how you feel as well. And yeah, we'll be back, guys. We'll see you again very, very soon. Take care of yourselves. Good night. And Javi, thank you. Appreciate you coming on. See you later.
All right, big up.
Peace.